Hello, history buffs and theater kids. Welcome back to the channel. If you're like me, you've had the Hamilton soundtrack on repeat since 2015. Lin-Manuel Miranda's masterpiece is a cultural phenomenon, a revolutionary take on a revolutionary story. It's got us all humming tunes about the $10 founding father. But how much of what we see on stage is historical fact, and how much is artistic license? Today, we're diving deep, separating the Broadway rhymes from the real historical times. We're putting Hamilton, the musical, under the historical microscope. So grab your quill and ink because we're about to fact-check Hamilton, Broadway versus the real history. Let's start with the man himself, Alexander Hamilton. Was he really a young, scrappy, and hungry immigrant who came from nothing? Absolutely. Hamilton's backstory is one of the most accurate parts of the musical. Born out of wedlock on the Caribbean island of Nevis, orphaned as a child, he truly did write his way out of poverty and a devastating hurricane. His sheer brilliance and ambition got him to King's College in New York. The musical nails his relentless drive and his prolific writing. He wrote constantly essays, letters, financial plans. The line, "Why do you write like you're running out of time?" is incredibly fitting. So, on the core of Hamilton's character and his origin story, Lin-Manuel Miranda gets a solid A+. Now, let's talk about the Schuyler sisters, Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy. The musical portrays them as a tight-knit trio, a revolutionary destiny's child, if you will. The truth is a little more complicated. Angelica was indeed a brilliant, witty woman who shared a deep, intellectually charged connection with Hamilton. Their letters are filled with flirtatious and clever banter, leading many historians to speculate about the nature of their relationship. Was it a secret romance? We can't say for sure, but the emotional tension in the song Satisfied captures that what-if feeling perfectly. However, the timeline is fudged. Angelica was already married to John Barker Church and had children by the time she met Hamilton. So she wasn't exactly a single lady looking for a mind at work. The show takes a real emotional connection and heightens the romantic drama for the stage. And what about Eliza? Helpless and burned, paint her as a devoted, loving, and ultimately, deeply wounded wife. This is spot on. Eliza was the heart of the family. She truly was devoted to Alexander. After his death, her work to preserve his legacy was nothing short of heroic. She spent 50 years, collecting his writings, organizing them, and fighting to get his biography published. She also co-founded the first private orphanage in New York City. The musical rightly places her at the center of the story's conclusion, ensuring she finally gets the historical credit she deserves. And Peggy? While she was a real person, her role in the story is much smaller than the musical suggests. She wasn't quite the third musketeer alongside her sisters in the same way. Okay, let's move on to Hamilton's squad. Lawrence, Lafayette, and Mulligan. Did they really all hang out in a bar, singing about revolution? Well, not exactly like that. They were all real figures and key allies of Hamilton, but the buddies hanging out vibe is a creation for the stage. John Lawrence was indeed a passionate abolitionist and one of Hamilton's closest friends. Their letters are so intense and affectionate that some historians have speculated about a romantic relationship. The musical hints at this but doesn't fully explore it. Lafayette was, of course, the brilliant French aristocrat who became a hero in the American Revolution. And Hercules Mulligan was a tailor who acted as a spy, gathering crucial intelligence for the Continental Army. They were all connected to Hamilton, but their friendship wasn't the tight-knit bros dynamic we see in My Shot. Miranda cleverly condensed their separate relationships into one powerful group to represent the youthful, revolutionary spirit of the time. One of the biggest historical showdowns in the musical is Hamilton versus Jefferson. Cabinet Battle No. 1 and Cabinet Battle No. 2 are pure genius, turning complex political debates into epic rap battles. And honestly, it's not that far from the truth. While they probably weren't dropping mics on each other, their political disagreements were fierce, public, and personal. Hamilton, the Federalist, wanted a strong central government and a national bank to manage the country's finances. Jefferson, the Democratic Republican, championed states' rights and an agrarian society. They clashed on pretty much everything from economic policy to foreign affairs. Their rivalry shaped the first decade of American politics. The musical does a fantastic job of taking these dense historical arguments and making them exciting, understandable, and incredibly entertaining. Now for the duel. The final fatal confrontation between Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr. The musical sets this up as the culmination of a lifelong rivalry. starting from their very first meeting in Aaron Burr, sir. In reality, their relationship was more complex. It wasn't constant, overt animosity. They were political and legal rivals for decades, often finding themselves on opposite sides. Burr was a master of political maneuvering, and Hamilton often worked to thwart his ambitions, most famously in the election of 1800, where Hamilton's support for Jefferson over Burr tipped the scales. The duel itself was the tragic result of years of simmering resentment, culminating in Hamilton's public insults against Burr during Burr's run for governor of New York. The show's portrayal of the 10 duel commandments and the somber, fateful mood is incredibly effective, even if the lifelong, one-on rivalry is a bit simplified. So where does the musical take the most creative liberty? The casting, of course. Casting actors of color to play white historical figures was a deliberate and brilliant choice by Lin-Manuel Miranda. He called it, "The Story of America Then, as Told by America Now." It's not meant to be a literal representation. Instead, it's a powerful statement that the story of America's founding belongs to everyone. It reframes these historical figures, making their story of rebellion, ambition, and nation-building feel immediate and relevant to a modern, diverse audience. This isn't a historical inaccuracy. It's the show's central artistic and thematic statement. It forces us to see the past not as a dusty relic, but as a living story that continues to shape our present. In conclusion, Hamilton the Musical is a masterful piece of historical fiction. It's not a documentary, and it's not trying to be. Lin-Manuel Miranda and the creative team took the core truths of the history, the ambition, the political battles, the personal heartbreaks, and amplified them for the stage. They streamlined characters, compressed timelines, and imagined private conversations to tell a compelling, cohesive story. Did they get every single detail right? No. But did they capture the spirit of the revolution and the essence of these larger-than-life characters? Absolutely. The show has sparked a renewed interest in American history for millions of people, sending them to books and museums to learn more. And that might be its greatest achievement. It makes you want to be in the room where it happens. What's your favorite part of Hamilton? And what other historical fact checks would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. See you next time.
Spot in the Caribbean, by Providence, impoverished and squalor. Grow up to be a hero. What's your name, man?
Alexander Hamilton.
My name is Alexander Hamilton.
And there's a million things I haven't done, but just you wait, just you wait. Not thrown away, not thrown away, just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not thrown away,
Raise a glass to the four of us. Tomorrow there'll be more of us, telling the story of
Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy, the Schuyler sisters.
Eliza, I'm looking for a mind at work.
Hey, 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 in the greatest city, in the greatest city in the world.
Oceans rise, empires fall. We have seen each other through it all. And when push comes to shove, I will send fully armed battalion to remind you of my love. Da 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 da.
We are outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplayed. We gotta make an all-out stand. You know I'm gonna need a right hand. Yeah. Ooh, I do. Boy, you got me hopeless. Look into your eyes and the sky's a limit.
Life doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes. We rise and we fall. And if there's a reason I'm still alive and so many have died, then I'm willing to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 10 dual commandments.
Oh, let me
Alexander Hamilton. I have soldiers in the field for you. If we manage to get this right, they'll surrender by early light. The world will never be the same. The world turned upside down.
Isn't this enough? He will never be satisfied. He will never be satisfied. Satisfied.
History has its eyes on you. History has its eyes on you. What did I miss? Thomas, that was a real nice declaration. Welcome to the present, we're running a real nation. Would you like to join us? Stay mellow, doing whatever the hell it is you do in Monticello.
Take a break and get up. Run away, we're close to the summer. Let's go upstate where we can stay. We can all go stay with our partners. If you take a look, you'll make the art of your life right. Close your eyes and dream when the night gets dark. Don't say no.
So we had to say no to this. How can I say no to this? There's nowhere I can go.
Help.
Nobody's on my side. I'll say no.
What else is in the room where it happened? The room where it happened. The room where it happened.
My God,
In God we trust. We never really know what got discussed. Click, boom, then it happened.
but no one else was in the room where it happened. It must be nice. It must be nice to have Washington on your side.
History has its eyes on you. We both know what we know. Right the way Alexander Hamilton had a torrid affair, and he wrote it down right there.
Highlights.
I know my sister like I know my own mind. You will never find anyone as trusting or as kind. I'm erasing myself from living in the fire. Let future her story in this wonder. Eyes are react with what we had aside. I'm standing at his side. You can never be satisfied. God,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
it's quiet uptown. Forgiveness. Can you imagine? Forgiveness. Can you imagine? If you see him in the street, walking by your side, talking by your side, have pity. They are going through the unimaginable.
It feels more like a memory.
This is where it gets me. I should have known. I've got to throw away my
I'll see you on the other side.
Who dies? Who tells your story? Will they tell your story? Who dies? Who tells your story? Will they tell your story? Who dies? Who tells your story?